welcome to another episode of Sips and Scripts. I'm your host, Kyla.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Sydney. I'm Stacy.
Cassidy.
And I'm Genesis.
And we're here to talk about Beyonce's new visual album, Black is King.
I wanted to first say the reason why I brought you all here is I wanted a good representation of black women. Beyonce is the pinnacle of entertainment.
Phenomenal.
Exactly. So let's kind of start there. So very quickly, if you all, when you hear Beyonce or Beyonce's releasing an album or anything, what are your initial thoughts? We'll start with Genesis.
I need to listen to it now, know all the songs. This is what I'm bumping in my car.
Say powerful and uplifting.
Oh, that's nice. I like Beyonce.
I think it's going to be inspiring and it's going to get a lot of hype.
I think I'm gonna learn some new dance moves.
Ooh.
Definitely gonna hear something impactful.
I need to get me a sitter.
Ooh.
So with that in mind, Beyonce drops a visual album as it relates to The Lion King. So what are your thoughts on that? We'll actually go with Alicia first. We'll switch it up. So everyone jump in where you want.
I have been looking forward to it all week long. As soon as I heard it on Good Morning America, yes, with George Stephanopoulos and Robin. Yes, I could not wait to actually watch it. So I was so happy when you all said, let's do the podcast, because that actually motivated me to watch the video. And I will say, I watched it, but I want to rewatch it because I feel like there's so much in there that I missed. So I plan on watching it again.
Who watched it multiple times?
I did.
Who watched it more than once?
Didn't get a chance to. That was my goal though, to rewatch it, because getting deep into it, there's so much symbolism behind it. So I was like, you gotta watch it twice to catch everything, maybe even 3 times.
So what were the initial thoughts then?
For me, like as soon as I watched it, I didn't have the soundtrack downloaded completely on my phone, so I immediately downloaded the soundtrack after watching it, because I was like, there was so much more behind it to me that need to be here. Like I need to see the lyrics also with the words. So,
and for me, the first time I watched it in a group, and I think I missed parts. In listening to everybody else, I certainly missed things that I like to put the whole story together, because I walked away with probably a different perspective than other folks did who watched it, and I was somewhat confused. I mean, I didn't tie it back to The Lion King. I heard James Earl Jones and I understood all of that, but how I watched The Lion King 1,000 times, but I just didn't put it together. So I want to give it a second chance, and hopefully I'll walk away from the same. She's beautiful. The colors are beautiful. All of the art is beautiful. All of that was great. I just want to get that Cassidy's talking about. I want to feel that.
Did anybody download the soundtrack to the album?
I did, but I wish I would
prior to watching it.
No,
I wish I would have.
I had a couple of songs though. I had what was it?
Well,
what is that?
how do you download?
How do you download?
That was a question I was not prepared for.
Definitely put Brown Skin Girls on my phone.
Now that's the song that stood out to me. So I really feel like if I would have listened to the soundtrack before, then maybe I would have been better prepared to watch the movie. Because as soon as that came on, I was like, I love this movie. It switched my whole perspective.
But I don't know that your mom knew that.
No, I told Cass on the way here, I said there was a song that I watched it with Whit. As soon as that song came on, Whitney was like, I love that song. And I told Cass, I said, I've never heard that song before, but I want to go back and listen to the words.
And that's also too because mom probably isn't on social media like that. Because that was a whole thing too about brown skin girls and that song coming out and how much it made people feel empowered.
It does. Every single time I hear it.
That was the only song that I had heard on the album prior to the movie.
And I guess in Alicia's defense a little bit on that, I know the song only because it's her favorite. So we didn't have a choice. I mean, she sings it
all the time.
I really like that song.
I remember downloading, so when Lion King came out, me and my friends, we went to go see it that weekend. And then literally after I saw it, I downloaded the album as soon as it came out. So I've got to listen. I have such a long way to work, so I listened to the entire album pretty much to and from work in one day. So I was looking forward to the visual just based off of her previous visual album. I was, in my mind, I was watching it and thinking in comparison to that.
The Lemonade
album. And it's very, I won't say it's very similar, but I can start to see that Beyonce definitely has a visual aesthetic that she sticks to. She does have a trend in her and has a specific style with her visuals.
So let's dive into that. This is not like anything anyone has ever seen before. I think it's safe to say.
Yes.
So what did that do for you all as Black women to see the motherland represented in such a beautiful way?
Oh, I will say it made me stand up a little taller. Made me put my shoulders back. Yes, lift my head and have a smile on my face because I'm like, this is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yes.
She's amazing. And I feel like that's why I want to go back and watch it again too, because listening to what you said, I think every time she does it, there's the message is consistent. You know, we're strong, we're powerful, our men are stronger. You know, I feel like that's the message you get every single time.
And it's nice to see our people in that light.
Yes, Black is king.
For sure. Yeah.
So for the younger generation, what you guys are in a world where I know for an older generation and then people around my age, we knew Beyonce from Destiny's Child when she was a pop star. Now she is a global icon.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, who is she to y'all? Because I'm curious. Like, I saw her grow. You guys live in a world where it was Lemonade and on.
Right.
So what does that look like for y'all?
I think I see her kind of as a role model.
She's definitely a role model and someone you look up to, especially like if that like where she began as just Beyonce and us growing up with her like the past 18 years of my life. I don't think I've ever had really a year in my life where I haven't listened to Beyonce.
Oh, that's beautiful. No, I love that. So
yeah, I'm like, am I the younger generation or the older generation?
you're that weird middle.
You're in the middle.
Because you were when she became a singer. Is probably when you were in middle
Like
school.
when she transitioned.
You remember? Oh, wait a minute. Can I tell them a story?
Oh, when I was Beyonce. When I
Yes.
was
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. She performed as Beyonce when she was in daycare.
Oh, I was in daycare.
Oh, it was summer camp. It was summer camp.
I was like, come on, Mom.
Yes.
I remember that.
It was summer
I was in
camp.
the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's when she was part of Destiny's Child.
Right. That's why I was like, I definitely remember that.
Yes.
So Cassidy was there for the transition.
So she was impactful for you too.
Yeah, she was really impactful. I think the more that I grow and the more that she grows, and looking up to Beyonce, like I said, is a role model because it shows like how human she is. Like we all are human, but sometimes when it comes to like these stars and everything, people kind of idolize them. But we've seen a lot when it comes to Beyonce. We've seen her by herself. We've seen her as Destiny's Child. We've seen her with Jay. We've seen her without Jay. We've seen it all. So she has really opened us up to her life, essentially like through her visuals to me, and has really shown like what that growth is. So it just reminds me to continuously grow. It's a continuous process. Like it doesn't stop at the age of 20. It doesn't stop at 40, 50. You just keep growing. And she's like really opened that up to show me that as well. So
You're right,
And I think the
Cassidy.
part that I like is the fact that she still shows you that the heroes are amongst us. You don't have to look that far. I mean, she's still referencing the video, her dad, her mom, and those are people that you are with every single day. And you have to look and realize that the people sometimes for you to idolize are right here in your own family.
But it
Those
also
are your-
shows the growth too, because the mother and the daughter, and I think that's where you were going. You know, her that part that along with her and her daughter in it, that does something to me, and I'm the older generation. That just shows, you know, the true transformation from here to me when she was a child. I watched her go from a child to now a mom and a wife.
yeah, I was like, that's.
I mean, we've seen the whole
Passing of the
gamut.
baton.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
the
then
relationship
even
with her
with
mom.
Kelly Rowland shows sisterhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has several
Yeah, that's good.
versatile, several different black women in there, 7 different skins of melanin, like all of that going on was all throughout the visual, from the hairstyles to the skin colors to the way that their bodies were shaped to the way that they moved. It was so much versatile, in the women that she chose, and they're the women that just were offered, like, or the spot, or just with the kings. Like, it was so much versatile, so many rivers flowing, and a river just shows you how far the journey has gone. So it just really hit hard for me. And then being on the motherland hit me different because I just went to Ghana. So it was really just amazing because I was like, I saw the Ghana flag and I was like, ooh, if y'all really want to know, there's so much to it. But I'm going to try to hold off.
You said it was Ghana last night.
Yeah.
You said it was Ghana on that.
It was
the
definitely,
US
it
and
was
made the
definitely
colors.
Ghana. And I was like, yes, I'm hyped.
So, not to get too whatever, but she's been facing backlash because of how black this is and how unapologetically black she is. So, as black women, how does that feel to have someone who is a role model, who we've seen since I think she was 14, 15 when we first saw her? How does that feel to have someone who means so much to us? Who the controversy comes from? She had a white butler, and everyone lost their mind because they were like, "Oh, that's her saying." So, like, what does that do for you all? And real quick, who would show of hands? Who would say they are in the quote unquote beehive by show of hands?
Oh, I want to be.
So that's just I would say that's just a passionate fan, someone who if it's Beyonce, you're all in, all that stuff. Okay, so when you hear about the backlash that she receives for just being a black woman, what does that do for you?
I think it shows America.
It really does.
It makes me angry from talking about her daughter's hair to just like it just makes me angry.
But the talking about her daughter's hair, that's us.
But
we doing that to her. Our black people are doing that to her.
We are.
I feel like that's both. I agree with her. I feel like that's both sides doing that for as far as her daughter, which I think is absolutely horrific.
I do too.
Because it's gracious of her to even have her daughter in our present, like in our
to share her
with us, because she still hasn't really shared the twins with us hardly at all, which I don't blame her.
And that's probably a result of what happened with Blue Out.
Probably, yeah. But as far as like the backlash with that, I agree. I think I'm not shocked. I wasn't shocked in the slightest. I was actually waiting for somebody to say something negative about it. Like as far as like in those terms, I could be a critic. I can critique and like watch it and critique it as far as like just
how you feel
and how I feel about it. But to say something negative as far as like something like that, I like, with having a white butler and all that, like, I'm like, okay,
doesn't have anything to do with the movie.
Exactly. Like, I feel like that's just an
away
unnecessary, it's just an unnecessary critique. It's not needed.
Yeah, but you have to recognize too, anytime you put anything out into the world, there's always going to be critics. There's always going to be backlash.
Yeah.
So this isn't the first thing that she got backlash for, but you also have to recognize that our people take every negative and turn it into a positive. So you just have to wait on that because that's really how the world is for black people. Like a lot of negative stuff has happened to us, but we always make it into a positive. Anything like small is like, for example, we can get back to like how they used to like in slavery give us the scraps. They would give us the scraps and we made chitlins out of it. Like we would literally take something and flip it. So like that's just what our people do. Like so I'm not surprised by any of the backlash. Being a black woman, that's just what we experience. Like Genesis said, in America, like that's really what it is.
It's an everyday thing.
Yeah, it's an everyday thing. That's why I think it's important to surround yourself with a good group of women, or not even group, but just an amazing, amazing tribe. Like the women, men, all that. Like people who can really surround you. So when that backlash does hit, you still know your worth.
Right.
You still know the power that you have. Or in the thing, I think the visual, I think it was saying something like, as long as you have a head, wear your crown. I've heard that too through somebody, like as long as you have a neck, hold your head up. So you just gotta keep all that in mind.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Welcome.
What are some lasting images? I know we had talked about Brown Skin Girl was one of them, but whether images or songs or dances, what did you take away either that just blew you away?
I still can't get the picture of the baby in the basket with Moses going down the Nile.
Yeah, that was strong imagery.
Yes, that's what I keep.
Well, let's dive into that. What did that mean to you? Because I have my own thoughts, but what did that mean to you?
I've had to think about that one because at first I was like, so what is she meaning when I first seen the video? But then at the end, when I saw what she actually mentioned her son at the end, that she was actually going to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Was she dedicated it to her son? So I'm like, it's all connected, because I think of Moses being the king to lead everyone out. I said, so is it connected to the black man? Are we saying, is it a symbolism saying that black man,
Black is king?
yeah, black is king, you know, wear your crown, keep your head up, and you know, are valuable. Maybe you're not treated valuable sometimes in the U.S. or America, but just let everyone know you are royal. We have overcome as black people a lot of things since the beginning of time, biblical times, and we're still overcoming them today.
My favorite visual was the one in the pool where it's all the people, and then she was in the middle, because I feel like that shows like black women are queens with everyone being surrounded by her.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I like my favorite image is the image of her mom, and her daughter.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That really stood out to me.
That was beautiful.
Yes, it really was.
That was my favorite.
It's just a strong foundation of black women, and just to see her holding her girls, and then having her mom, and just standing behind her, that just really stood out.
I think one of my favorites too was when she had Naomi and Kelly and all of them, like the different scenes. I think it just showcases like different skin tones, that especially the ones that get hated on the most. So
that felt like a celebration of color. That really,
that was one of my favorites.
that was really good.
I think the big butts and everything, all of it. That was, you know, I mean, all of that was,
Yeah.
you be you. It's beautiful. Be you.
Yes.
She did every shape.
The hair, all of the different styles.
No hair,
I
all
think-
of it.
yeah.
Yeah. Hair.
That was my favorite visual. Well, I guess it was a lot because I really liked being on the coast because, like I said, I was on the coast, and that symbolism right there, I just know how it made me feel reconnecting back to the motherland with the ancestors. But I think my favorite one was, if y'all watching, I think this was when Brown Skin Girls played, but when she literally had from the back of the hair, and it was like probably 10 women lined up, and just showed the versatile in their hair. So there was like bantus, there was cornrows, there was froze, and all that. And the fact that she took it like from the back, I was like, it just showed all the different patterns and versatility it comes with your natural hair, and how many shapes, forms, and all that you can do with it. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that. And like for us, the natural hair sometimes is seen as unprofessional, or like you might get scorned for your natural hair. But right there, she was like, embrace it all, like all of this. And I was like, that just hit real hard for me, because I was like, wow, like there was so much that she did, and I was like, I'm about to put bantus in right now. Just
Excellent. I mean, does anyone have anything else they would like to say? Because I want to wrap it up by giving it to you guys, but if you have more to say, we can certainly say more.
I think for me, one of the most impactful things for me is because being biracial, growing up, it was really difficult in trying to, and not necessarily that I felt like backlash because of being lighter skinned, but I never understood, and I'm talking about colorism when it comes to why I was getting backlash, or like when, you know, girls that were darker than me felt uncomfortable being my friend, or like felt like I was better, or acted like they felt like I was better than them. And I never understood where that came from. But all my relatives, you know, were black women, and those are the women that I looked up to. Like, I love that Beyoncé uplifted more darker skinned women in this visual, because it's the way that I feel. It's like, I don't want you to feel like that I feel like I'm better than you because I'm lighter than you, because that's not the way that I feel at all. And I'm glad that she, as a lighter skinned woman, did that in this visual, because I feel like it helps support the fact that colorism is something that we've created, that unfortunately came from something so negative and so wrong, but we can change that. Like, just because I'm lighter, and just because I'm lighter than you doesn't mean that I don't go through some of this like same struggles that you go through.
And you might tend to go through them a little bit more, because you do have to balance that. You have to figure it out. So there's some unseen struggles that comes along with that.
And it's like, I don't want to negate your feelings, because you have, you know, every right to feel the way that you feel just because of the system. But
black is black, though. I mean, so I think that's her whole message. Black is black. All those multitudes of shades.
And that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I'm glad she put that out there, is that like black is black. We're all different shades, we're all different hues, we're all different tones come from all different backgrounds. We're not one monolith. And I feel like she wasn't just saying that to white people. I feel like she was saying that to us.
To the world.
Yes,
Yes,
I
to
think
us.
so too. I think it's a message too.
So, in closing, and everyone take your time. If Beyonce was watching this, what would you tell her right now? We'll go around.
Oh, starting
You
here
first.
Okay. What would I tell Beyonce? Thank you for the music, for the confidence, for making me feel comfortable in my own skin, especially now in a time where sometimes you compare yourselves to people who don't even look like you. Thank you.
I would say yes, Queen. Yes, thank you, because you just didn't have to, but you did, and like I really appreciate you for just like reminding us of our power and our worth, and to connect back to our roots, because that's where essentially that's what helps you really grow. Is the more you know about your roots, the better you can blossom and you can flourish in this world. So, thanks.
And I would say, I'm so very proud of you, Queen B, that you have. Thank you for showing not only me as I grow and develop as well, but my children, my daughters, and my son alike, what family looks like and what being a strong unit, a strong woman looks like, and a woman of color. Thank you. Hats off. I'm very proud of you.
I would say that if she's watching, thank you for showing us that our history is what makes us us, even though it's not all good. It's still what makes us us, and we're all beautiful.
I would say continue to do what you're doing. There's no one like you, and we appreciate you. Not only would I say that, but thanks for sharing your gifts. Those truly are God-given talent and gifts that we all don't have, and you could just keep them to yourself, but we appreciate you actually sharing those and also uplifting us. And again, not only people in my generation, but people older, people younger, and the generations that people aren't even here yet, but you will always be a legacy. And we will always appreciate you. Thanks.
I would say, again, I think we could all say thank you. But I want to say thank you for using your platform to uplift, and using your platform to stay a role model and stay true to yourself, and show the world who Black people are.
And I would say thank you for an example of motherhood. She's a working mom, and we are, as working moms, you can feel kind of like you can just feel overwhelmed at times, and it's just a good example of just leading your daughter and your son properly. So I just appreciate having her to walk alongside with.
That's beautiful. Well, ladies, thank you so much. And how about a Black is King on 3? We ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Black is King!